to take a look at it and truly evaluate from one end to the other. Second was to what it would take if we decided to go to Fort Worth Water solely. And third would be if we decided to build a brand new plant. What is the cost of a brand new plant for that? Today we have Josh Wheeler, the project manager, with us. Jason Walbacher, he's the assistant, and he'll be doing the presentation along with Josh. And we have Dave Goodall, who is the scientist and the chemist on the job. And so they put together a great team, and as you see, our other operators are here. We do have a brand new operator in the back, Juan. Juan's with us. Welcome. And he's here for learning and things like that. And with that, I will ask Jason to start it off.
Who's with Juan, by the way?
My wife, Donna.
Good to meet you, too.
Hey.
Not much.
Wearing a suit jacket, I appreciate it. Mayor Ashton, members of the council, first of all, I want to thank you for your time. I know y'all are busy, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to visit today. As Gordon said, my name is Jason Walbacher. I acted as assistant project manager for the water treatment plant evaluation. With that, we'll get started.
Zero.
Helps when it's on. Yeah. As Gordon mentioned, this evaluation was a three-part evaluation. The first option is to perform capital improvements at the existing water treatment plant. Option 2 is to purchase drinking water directly from the city of Fort Worth on a permanent basis. As y'all know, that River Oaks currently has the option to purchase emergency water from Fort Worth. This would be more of a permanent picture moving forward. And then option 3 is to construct new water treatment plants. Option 1, the existing and proposed process flow diagram is presented on this slide. There's a raw water intake structure, raw water pump station. No, can't see that. The solids contact clarifier. Downstream of that, from the clarifier, we have dual media filtration. After filtration, there is pre-chlorine and LAS for disinfection upstream of a 300,000 gallon clear well. From the clear well, finished water is pumped via the high service pumps into the distribution system. Here's a site plan of the improvements. I'll go over these kind of briefly in order of the process with the water flows. So the first one in the top left corner, it's not shown, but it's replacing above ground raw water piping at the intake. The downstream of that would be replacing a raw water pump in the pump station building. From the raw water pump station, we move to the solid contact clarifier, where we'd be adding a static mixer and plate settlers to increase settling and efficiency of that unit. Downstream of the clarifier are the filters. We're making a number of improvements in the filters, replacing the air scour blower and valves, replacing the filter media and underdrain, replacing 19 valves and their associated actuators, replacing a filter backwash pump, and adding a filter backwash / high service pump. It would, with some piping and valve modifications, it could act as both a filter backwash or a high service pump. Downstream of the,
I got a question. We are too far along. The pipes coming from the lake to our facility. These new pipes, are they going to have some kind of heated insulation or something so they don't freeze up?
we could insulate. It's pretty unusual for those sizes. They're 16-inch pipes. It's unusual to insulate and heat trace those. We could add insulation to them. Heat tracing would require power down there. So
What size are they now?
16.
There's two 16s.
They did
three.
right?
What froze was the very tip, right?
Yes. Where the actual pipe met the water. The top surface of the lake froze, and so did they as well as the air release valves.
Air release valves is a big component of that.
And, yeah, not mentioned on, this slide, just for brevity, is we're new enclosures for those air release valves, insulated enclosures. Would do a better job of combating that cold weather. So from the filters, we go to the clear well. Well, we propose to replace a concrete roof, add an influent pipe. The existing pipe has deteriorated. We'd be adding a new one and adding a mixing nozzle and an influent pipe. There's 3 chemicals that are injected there, and then mixing nozzle would do a better job of getting those fully mixed. Some other miscellaneous improvements, chemical storage and feed improvements, some chlorine improvements, which I'll touch on in just a second. Adding diffusion fountains and the sludge lagoons, those are on the bottom of the screen. Concrete lining, that third sludge lagoon to the left, and then just a miscellaneous yard piping modification. I know this is a lot on this slide. Appreciate questions. Are there any more before I move on?
You're talking about changing both pipes from the lake back?
The above ground.
Done in the like 90s, so.
But, yeah, at least the above ground, that's what we've included costs for now. If we did a.
Not the underground then?
No, it's our understanding that those are in good condition.
So, do the above ground connect to the underground, or is it?
Yes, sir. It goes above ground over the dam and then goes underneath.
Right,
Yeah,
off the dam.
goes there.
So it's not an alternative source, it's just part of the same source.
Right, yeah, same pipeline. We replaced those 2 existing 16 with just, new, just for condition, better condition.
Would you explain to the council, on the clarifier, we redid the clarifier under, Texas Water Development Board funding, what you were talking about and the reason for the settling place?
Yeah, so there's 2 modifications that we're proposing to the clarifier. One is a static mixer, which is, it's just, pretty much adds turbulence in the pipe. It, mixes in the coagulant that you're dosing there a little better. And then the plate settlers, those 2 combined would provide better settling, better efficiency of that unit.
And were y'all not our advisors when we redid the clarifier?
We were not.
Okay, sorry, whoever was advising us did not suggest that.
That's correct.
That was my question. Why wasn't this done when we did that originally? If it's needed now, why wouldn't we include that in the project?
He said we didn't need it, but we do.
I'm sorry.
He said, the engineer on the project said he didn't think we needed those, but we do.
Your previous clarifier had 2 cylinders in it, and they weren't put back in when it was redone.
Say that again.
Yes, sir. Your previous clarifier had 2 cylinders in it, previously, and when the clarifier was redone, they removed those. I'm not sure what their line of reasoning was. They didn't think that they were needed, but that's what the plate settlers will be, is to replace those 2 cylinders that were in it previously, to increase your efficiency there.
There was also a static mixer in the clarifier previous that was not put back in by the new specifications.
Are there any more questions on that slide? Keep moving. Some of the alternatives we looked at for option 1 are a new chlorine alternatives. Currently, the plant uses chlorine gas that's stored in ton containers, 1 ton containers.